Hello, beautiful warriors. It's me, Kaylin Parker, and welcome to this episode of Inside the Mind of a PH Warrior. In today's podcast, I asked you guys to send me questions you guys had about living with chronic illness. I received a bunch of great questions, so I'm going to start answering them now. Question number 1. How would you explain your disease? How I would normally explain my disease to others is I would say that I have a heart and lung disease. One side of my lung is caved in, and because of that, my heart has to pump harder to spread blood through my body. And then I would go on to say all this basically means that I get out of breath super easily. Question number 2, what age did you find out you had it? I found out I had pulmonary hypertension when I was 8 years old, and honestly that was a miracle and a blessing because a lot of people struggle to get diagnosed and are often misdiagnosed for many years. I was misdiagnosed too. I actually had PH since I was born, but I was misdiagnosed with asthma until the age of 8. Question number 3, how has PH changed the way you feel or think about yourself? Oof, that is a hard question to answer. PH has changed the way I feel about myself in many ways. I think the biggest one being that it made me have very low self-esteem and self-worth. I have struggled with low self-esteem for as long as I can remember. I always felt different from the other kids, and I often felt like I wasn't good enough. As most people with a chronic illness would say, I often feel like a burden to my friends and my family. I feel like I'm nobody's favorite. Most of the time I feel super ugly and view myself as the ugliest girl in my room. I'm the biggest critic and I don't really have any self-worth. Question number 4, what is the hardest part of having your disease? The hardest part of having PH for me is all the grief I have to go through because with each passing year, well, right now, each passing day, I get worse. It started off with things slowly falling apart in my life, and now I'm just a wreck. I have to keep grieving my old self and all the things I have lost, or all the things I can no longer do because of my PH. Summer normally hits me the hardest because that's when I normally notice all the things I could do the previous year, but now I can no longer do them. Question number 5, how does PH affect your life? I could write a book full of responses for this question. PH affects everything in my life. It affects my ability to work, my relationships, my mental health, my self-worth, my daily activities, and the list just keeps going on. Question number 6, how do people react to your illness? People typically act in these 2 ways. The first one is being super protective of me and caring. These types of people are normally my friends and family or the ones that are super close to me. They always make sure that I am okay and they are super understanding. The second type of reaction is the hate or the people that don't understand that I have an invisible chronic illness. These are the people that are normally strangers. I cannot tell you guys the amount of judgment or secret looks I get because of my handicap sticker. At first, it would really bother me when people would give me dirty looks because to them, I just look like a normal, healthy girl. It would make me feel guilty that I needed to park in the handicap spot. Fast forward to now, I don't care what other people think. It makes me laugh when I see people give me dirty looks. In my head, I say they're just jealous because they are fat and they wish that they had a handicap sticker so they didn't have to walk as far. I also can't tell you guys the amount of people who feel they need to make comments to me and will actually say these rude things to my face. Just the other night, this guy was trying to tell me that there is a different place that I should park. And my brother was like, "Sir, she can't walk that far. That is why we are parked here." It is totally rude and disgusting that people feel the need to comment and spread hate to people because they look normal and on the outside they don't meet the criteria for what a disabled person is supposed to look like. Question number 7, what excuses have you used before to get out of plans with a friend? I don't really need much excuses to get out of plans. I'm a very blunt and honest person, and normally you can see how I feel just by the way I look. My face normally says everything. All the people I hang out with know that I have a chronic illness, so I will just tell them I'm not having a good PH day. I'm really tired, so I'm just going to stay home. The biggest thing for me is if somebody asks me to do something in advance, my answer is almost always if I'm feeling okay that day, I will definitely go. One of my biggest things is planning events in advance. To give an example, let's say I have a family event on Saturday. I will just keep reminding myself that I have an event, and typically I mentally prepare myself so I am ready. I only go to the event that lasts maybe 4 hours long because that's when all my energy is gone. Question number 8. What is something you could do previously that you can't do now? That is another question that I could spend all day listing things that I can no longer do. Some of them being basic everyday activities. I can no longer go to an event without having to wear oxygen. I can no longer walk my dog outside to the bathroom without getting out of breath. I can no longer do anything without getting out of breath, really. I can no longer smell alcohol wipes without getting PTSD from flashbacks of my life with my pump. I can no longer eat lasagna because I was once violently sick from the side effects of medications to where I was throwing up lasagna. I no longer ever feel good about myself because I honestly hate everything about me. Question number 9. What is the biggest impact on any relationship? The biggest impact on any relationship would have to be me getting into a relationship with a boy. To me personally, I don't feel as if it really impacts my relationship with my family much. I don't know, maybe that's just my opinion. My family knows basically everything about my pH, so to me the biggest impact on any relationship would be finding a boyfriend and getting into a relationship. I have already said many times that I have very low self-worth and self-esteem. Because of that, it makes it almost impossible for me to be open to a relationship. I don't really feel as if anybody would want a relationship with me. I joke and say that nobody wants to date the girl with a chronic illness, but deep down, I know I'm not joking, and that's just a coping skill that I have used to help me get through being okay with being single. I have pushed away every guy that has ever tried to talk to me because I would just feel guilty the whole time. Like all the things that I have accepted, no one else should have to accept them. I'm okay with being single, and in fact, I've never had a boyfriend because of my chronic illness. I've never felt like anyone would want me. I think that they deserve someone way better than me. I have a lot of issues, and I'm always going through a lot. I don't want to be anybody's problem or feel like they shouldn't have to go through this with me, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Question number 10, how much has your family helped you? I'm going to try my best to be very short with this answer. My family has helped me a lot. I don't have the vocabulary to explain how much my family has helped me. They are the reason I am still alive and I'm still fighting today. My family means everything to me, and I can't explain how much I love them and how grateful I am for them. They are my biggest support system. They help me with the smallest things to the biggest things. They help me feel okay, and they show me unconditional love. They accept me for who I am. They take care of me on my bad days and smile with me on my good days. They go to my doctor's appointments and help me through everything. They don't leave my side and always make me smile. My family means everything to me. Question number 11, how many people in the world have it? PH is a very rare disease. On all the articles you read, one of the first things to pop up is how rare the disease is. I looked at many websites and I could not get the exact number, but a lot of the articles say that it's estimated that between 50 to 100 people per million have the condition. A lot of the doctors don't even know that pulmonary hypertension exists. And it's funny because whenever I am sick and have to go to a local doctor, I end up explaining my disease to them. Question number 12, dealing with doctors your whole life. How do you feel about your doctors? Do they care for you beyond your condition, or are they just there to get the job done? My doctors are incredible and have always taken good care of me. I have been going to the Children's Hospital every 3 to 4 months since I was 8 years old. My doctor is Dr. Dunbar Ivy, and he is in the top 10 best cardiologists in the world. I am extremely lucky and grateful to have him as my doctor. Since I have a heart and lung disease, my doctor told me that I will be going to the Children's Hospital for life. They will always have me as a patient, even though I am not a child anymore. The doctors have seen me through the good and the bad. They know me very personally and always have my best interest in mind. They are super understanding and let me control what I think is best for myself. They don't really push medication on me, and if I say no, they don't force me to. For an example, as many of you guys already know, I was on a Cat3 pump for 1 year, and that was the worst decision of my life. I wanted to try something new to help slow down the progression of my pH, but all it did was make me physically and mentally worse. I was honest with my doctors when I took out my site and explained to them that the Cat3 pump was not worth it. It was making me suicidal because I was always sick and in an extremely bad mental place. Now, of course, every time I go to the doctors after the end of the appointments, my doctors always share new information about new medicines that are in the process of working on, or being different medications I could try. One of them being getting put back onto sub-Q Remodulin, or trying a different way of putting a thing in my heart and having this big box wrapped around my waist 24/7 while the medication is directly pumped into my heart. They always start the conversation by saying, I know you're not interested in getting back on the sub-Q, but we feel like it's important to keep bringing it up just in case you change your mind. I always politely tell them that I won't be going back onto it, and they immediately change the subject and go on to something else. They give me all the information and then let me make my own decision on what I would like to do. Question number 13, how has pH changed the way you look at life in general? pH has changed the way I looked in life in so many ways. It made me appreciate all the small things in life. I try to go to a lot of events or try different things because I never know how much longer I will be able to do them. I've always known that I will die young, so I try to enjoy every little thing that I do. I cherish everything. I also record everything and take pictures of everything. I make YouTube videos so I can go back and relive the moment. I take pictures of everyone else doing sports or anything that I physically can't do because it makes me feel like I'm a part of the group. Taking pictures and videos means everything to me, and it's one of the things that I enjoy most about my life, and I'm always smiling and living my best life when I have my camera in my hands. Well, you guys, that was the last question I am going to answer. I hope you guys got a deeper insight of my personal thoughts about living life with pH. I will definitely be doing another Q&A in the future, so leave questions you would like me to answer in the comment section below. With that being said, this PAH Warrior is signing off. Peace.